Hi there and welcome back. This is episode 2 of How to Master Your Neo 2. And this is aimed for beginners, and especially if you have already watched the episode 1, then you are familiar already with your sticks with your RC2 controller and your FPV controller 3. So you have done some drills and you have started to build your muscular memory. And this is very important in order to do those little baby steps. So you learn these skills one skill at a time, and then you build upon those steps. And this time we are going to be going towards more professional looking flying so that you can control your drone with certainty and good confidence. We are going to talk about how to make circles and figure eights. These are not just tricks. And especially when we are flying in with FPV controllers, with your goggles, these drills, if you learn to do this properly, they are going to make your footage look more professional. But flying sideways with your goggles on, there is a big cave need, but we are going to come back to that later. Let's get into this episode 2. Well, before we talk about your style of what you would like to shoot, we will talk about control, and I'll just break it here for you real quick, so that we are all in the same page. This is yaw, and this will actually make your drone turn, the yaw control. And then we have throttle here, which controls in this RC control, it controls your height. And if you go up, it will go up. If you go down, it will come down. And then you will have also at here, you will have roll, and that will make the drone go sideways, as you know. And when you combine the yaw and the roll, then you will get the circle as a movement. There's always a shortcut for this with your drone, and that's when you are using the target, and you can use that in order to get it easily done. But should you want to learn something and learn the way how you could make this work by yourself, so that you can change your target as you go and move towards that figure 8, which is also important, because that will also teach you when you go in the reverse direction. We tend to always go around subjects in the same direction and that could be good or not. Now I'm just gonna get my expert shoe set here. It is again snowy, and yeah, I'll just put this in 4K 30, and this is going to give me maximum amount of blur. You might not want this, but the blur actually, if you are able to maintain the target, it is going to make it stand out even more. And I have ISO 100 and shutter speed 1/16 of a second. So it says that I am -1.7, so I'll just raise my ISO to 200. It's good to have exposure meter here. I would rather be a little bit underexposed than overexposed, especially with small sensors like this. Because if you blow your highlights, which I still have, even if it's quite gray, it will be problematic in post-process, because it will look quite ugly. Okay, so let's go again. I have my sticks here, and I'm usually using the drone actually like this. Because I'm showing you this, I'm gonna lift these up so that they will be quite well positioned towards the drone, and I have my camera autofocus on the screen. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use that as my target, and I'm gonna record that. So I'm gonna just push. If I'm pushing the roll sideways, it is going to go sideways. But if I want to keep that as a target, I will have to compensate the movement with my yaw, just like that. And then I'll be able to do this going around this target. And then I can just hold them like this, and it will be going like that until the battery dies. You know? And if I will do it quickly, it will give me quite nice target, as I told you before. I'll tilt the monitor a little, the gimbal a little bit, and I'm going to do the same. I think I'm better off with this. Somewhat it is challenged with if there's anything. It's just the snowing is making this a little bit more difficult than it should. But yeah, I'm going to continue. Then I could just break this in and go forwards. And yeah, now I have gained the target. And if I will just turn the camera a little bit and I can go higher up, I can do the same thing from above. And now when I'm higher up, if I'm higher than the tree level, and I can check that quite easily, I'll just put my camera here in level, and I can see if there's any trees which might clash with me. Well, those trees are classic with me, so I'll just get higher than those. Now I will keep this altitude, and I can also see my drone up there in the air. I'm going to do this with that platform, with higher up position, and I'm going to keep that platform in the middle. Now I will have to move the sticks a little bit with the better pace, with the higher movement. It's not perfectly in middle. I'll just have to find it again. It's difficult. You know, this is why you need to always practice in different ways. And now that I know that these trees, the tallest trees are where they are, I can do this so that I'll just little bit lower the drone at this point where I know that it is. And I can go with turn like something like this, and then go and see something here. Also, I could go behind the trees like this, and then just do the same. For that tree. Now this could get you something very unique. And then when you get better at it, you could come closer and do something very special with it, and then show where you are at, for example. Yeah, so I have my goggles on me already, and yeah, as you can see, I have a different jacket. This is different day, still not much more daylight, so I'm gonna go pretty much with the same settings, and the wind has picked up from yesterday, but with, you know, like in this episode, and especially this M mode training, I would say it's a couple of weeks worth of training. So you'll need some stick time daily, like at least 10-15 minutes. I would just go through the whole battery pack if you have time, so roughly, well, 15-20 minutes. The importance of simulators when you're learning the FPV training. I just noticed when I was flying this episode material, and I had camera pointed at my fingers, and I was flying while I was talking. I was flying and trying to get those look as simple as I could. My fingers are not really moving that much when I'm flying FPV. But if you start to fly with 10-degree angle, which is great for slower flying and with lower rates, this is perfect. Keep it there and then gradually up your angle when you are ready to move on to faster speeds. But even, and especially then, my fingers doesn't do a lot of movements. It's only when you're doing those big tricks when your finger starts to move. And you will have to kind of be very aware of those movements. And in episode 1, we had this movement forwards and backwards, and I'm doing this in simulator now. And with these simulators, it's great that you can actually have those sticks in the image. So now you can see how I'm applying throttle in order to move forwards and backwards, and also sideways. And I'm also trying to control my drone at all times and even stop the movements in between. So this is the baby steps what we were having in episode 1. But now when I'm going to go forwards and doing turning, you can see my stick movements. So as I said, both of the sticks, left if I'm turning left, or right when I'm turning right, and I will make sharp turn. But if I would like to make larger turn, like going towards a circle, then I will need to use different kind of movements and play with the roll also while I'm doing it, and yawn. So these are important things. Try simple turns at first, and it is a good idea to learn how to do those sharp turns also. So there needs to be sharp turns and wide turns, which will be turning into a circle. Oh, and one more thing. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel. You will get a lot of this kind of episodes where you can learn new things, and I'm also moving forwards while I'm learning things. So if you are in the same position as I am, please, stick around, push that subscribe button. If you like this, push the like button and share. And if you want to learn something, or you would like me to try something, please comment down below in the comments. I will do it. This will also be good motivation for me to actually push myself towards the unknown things. Okay, let's get back to this. Oh. I'm also going to record my settings. Control, remote controller, gain and expo. As you can see, I have quite a bit changed this from previous episodes. Push the record again. So let's get back to it. So with these sticks, I'm going to do the figure 8 here in N mode. It is quite tight spot, as you can see, and I need a little bit adjust the height also. I'm going to go ahead and do the manual mode. Now I have put that in 15 degrees. I'm gonna do a little bit of warming up because there is wind. There's not so much of wind at here, but where I'm shooting, I'll need to see how much it interferes. So now you can see my stick movements and what I'm seeing myself. So you need to a little bit slant the drone sideways in order to get that round movement. It's not that easy with that kind of small object, but it can be done. And also the other way. I think this is my better side. Oh, the wind is picking this thing up sometimes. So you don't want to do too big movements when you're doing this. And once you get the hang of it, then you can go ahead and try it. I don't feel like doing tricks in this kind of wind because there's just so many variables that could go wrong simply. And so you have to kind of know that when you are in this kind of situation, you better not to risk it. But I hope that that did kind of help you, that I did also show you some of those stick movements. My fingers, they are quite often doing something. So especially in this kind of wind when you can't really fly so smoothly. I might do one more battery just in order to get a little bit of this. But I might show the video for you. I'm not going to film that with this. Okay. So in next episode we are going to go more into this world of loops and flips and how you can start to practice them, and then how you can make them to be more effective in visually, more than just quickly doing the flip. But you will just need to get the hang of those things first, just like with this what we are doing today. So we are gonna go more into that, and then I'm also gonna go a little bit more into how we can connect things with normal RC2 or RCN3 movements, so that you can get them under your belt. And I'm gonna also do little extras with what you can do with an actual tracking, but that will be completely different thing, and because then the computer is gonna do a lot of things for you, but I think it's kind of cool to actually know how to do those things yourself. Master shots, for example, they sound like amazing things, and they are, because you can do them without any expertise in FPV or drones. But then again, if you can copy those master shots think of what movements those moves, what movements do they have in them, and then do them yourself and continue from there, or end your like approach to some place and then continue towards some of those master shots that we all know so well. And then you can go like, yeah, I did that. For me, that's something why I want to daily practice this with Neo and with my Air 3S also. But we're gonna get more to that in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I certainly hope that you enjoyed this.